On tonight's Twilight Insight, I want to ask one question up front. When was the last time you sat in the dark? Completely dark. No lights, no TV, no radio, no other person, no distraction. Just you and nature. Do you know what it feels like to reconnect with the things that are unadulterated by man or humans? Just to listen to the creatures of the night singing, communing, rejoicing, praising. It's in their natural habitat, doing what they naturally do. It definitely opens up the mind. I believe it helps to bring together the mind, body, soul, and spirit back into oneness when the chaos is removed, when the blue lights are removed. When you have to sit still, sit with self. You think about the things that you need to do in order to become a better you. Areas you need to take more accountability, areas you need to forgive, areas you need to ask for forgiveness, areas you need to apologize, areas you may need to fulfill a forgotten promise. There'll always be distractions, no matter what. But it's up to you what you choose to do with those distractions. The reason for my thumbnail is because it's a picture of my yard after I cut it a couple of days ago. It rained for nearly 2 weeks straight here. And the couple of days of dry that we got before it started raining again left the grass in a very, very thick, dense state. It wasn't very tall, but it was extremely thick. And it was still holding water, both on top of the blades and down at the ground level. So I could visibly see the water on the blades, but I was faced with two choices. Leave it until a day when it dried out good enough to be cut easier, or go ahead and get it cut to make it more manageable later. Of course, I chose the latter, which in that case, it made it harder up front, but when it's time for it to be cut again, it'll be much easier. During this time, I decided not to listen to any music or have any distractions, just focus on cutting the grass. And my mower is just, a typical Craftsman push mower. Nothing fancy. It does have a mulching blade. It was a $25 investment. And I realized after cutting this grass that $25 investment was one of the biggest investments best investments I've ever made. Because it saved me anywhere between $80 and $180 per month by cutting my own grass, getting my exercise in, getting my steps in, burning calories, sweating, getting the toxins out of my body and my skin. Because depending on who was cutting my grass was how much I was going to have to pay. I didn't like the way the grass turned out because of the state of the grass. That's not normally how my yard looks when I've put in so much effort. And what normally would have been a 2-hour job turned into a 6-hour job because of the state of the grass. And halfway through, in a way, I started feeling sorry for myself and getting angry with people. I started thinking, I have grown sons. Shouldn't they volunteer to do this for me? I'm not 20 anymore. And I've been doing this since I was 5. Why am I still having to do it? And had I stayed in that place in my head, it could have very easily turned into a negative day. But something tapped me on the shoulder and said, no, ma'am. This is a privilege. You're capable of doing this, even though you're double the age you were, in your 20s. You still have the strength and the energy to do this. And even with it being even more difficult than what it was previously or than what it usually is, you're here. You're doing it. You're handling it. It doesn't matter how many breaks you have to take. It doesn't matter how much water you have to drink. You got this. And in that moment, I knew I needed to apologize to my children spiritually for feeling that way. And I did. And I actually humbled myself and asked one of my sons to come and help me with the weed eating. Because that's actually the part I don't like doing the most. And he came. And in me being obedient and humbling myself and asking him to come and help me, he actually found a poisonous snake and he killed it. And I'm grateful for that, because who knows what would have happened in my state of being tired and probably a little bit delirious because it was a high humidity that day. But one of the things that I'm most grateful for is that while I had the honor of cutting my grass, it was the revelations that were coming to me, the gratitude that was overflowing through me, the insight, the wisdom, all that was found by being out in nature. I realized that I have to stop limiting myself based on my age or my size or my height and just go for it. Now, naturally, there'll be things that I may not be able to achieve, or I may be able to achieve with more effort. But at the end of the day, giving a wholehearted effort is what really matters. And when you're doing that in gratitude, the reward is even greater. Twice it began to rain on me as I was just about finished. And I just prayed for Most Divine to allow me to get through. And both times it stopped raining. So whoever the higher power is that you believe in, when you call on them, him, her, it, they, she, them, they listen. Especially when you're operating in humility and gratitude. I truly believe those are the two biggest gifts of the flesh, so to speak, that we can push into the spirit world, that are the keys to open up the doors to the things that we need, or the things that we desire, especially when we're seeking knowledge, we're seeking wisdom. Now, it's been a couple of days, and after the fact, I massaged my hands with different oils, and my hands are still sore. My hands have never been sore from cutting grass. But still, it's nothing for me to complain about. And I was actually speaking to the lawnmower, being grateful to it. I call him Sir Chops a lot. I was very grateful to Sir Chops a lot because he was doing all the work. All I had to do was hang on and keep moving. And that's what we have to do in life many times, just hang on and keep moving. Do what you can where you can. And if all you accomplish at the end of the day is not giving up, getting one piece of mail open, picking up one dirty sock off of the floor, washing one dirty dish, getting a shower, or brushing your teeth, or even walking outside to check the mail, making up one side of your bed, fluffing one pillow. It doesn't matter. Do one thing. And at the end of that day, you'll have one thing accomplished. Whether you feel proud of it or not, you'll have it accomplished. And that adds to your karma. That adds to what you have sown. That adds to what you shall reap. But keep it positive. Don't think that you can do people dirty, especially using spiritual gifts or even gifts or talents of the flesh. Don't think you can use those things to manipulate people, get over on people, use people to get your way, and then think it's going to turn out well for you, because it's not. The harvest may come a little slowly, but it's coming. So if you can, and when you can, take some time at night, open a window, go somewhere where it's less crowded, less artificial light, less noise. Just open a window and listen to nature. Meditate in the dark. And reconnect all parts of yourself with the universe and the most divine creator. Reconnect with everything. Find balance. And in that balance, you'll find your peace. And that peace will be the peace that surpasses all understanding. And at some point, air out your houses. Even if you have allergies, air out your house. Let some fresh energy, some fresh air into your house. Remove some of the stagnation. Get things moving and flowing again and see the difference it'll make in your life. Most of our elders and ancestors, if we remember, they didn't have air conditioning. Some of them didn't even have fans. So they had the windows open all the time, but there was always a time when the house got aired out. If we take the time to think back to a lot of the things they used to do, and that's why they weren't sick all the time. That's why they weren't depressed all the time. Don't get me wrong, there's always a one-off situation, because there's always somebody that's just not going to be pleased no matter what. And that's their choice. But it's also our choice not to follow in their footsteps. Don't be negative. It hurts you more than it hurts anybody around you. Don't be manipulative. You might get some gratification or some validation in the moment, but it won't last. And when you return back to that feeling of loneliness and despair and abandonment, it's going to feel even worse than it did before you got that temporary gratification. And now you got to keep chasing it and keep chasing it and keep chasing it. At the end of the day, you've lost your life. You wasted it. You gained nothing. Whatever you do, wherever you go, just strive to be a better you. Because you're the only thing standing in your own way. If you're under the sound of my voice, just know that I love you. And I hope for the very best for you. And I publicly apologize to anyone I've ever hurt, intentionally or unintentionally. I forgive those who have hurt me, intentionally or unintentionally. And I ask for the forgiveness of those to whom I've hurt, intentionally or unintentionally. And as I continue to move forward in this journey called life and transition into a different me, I'm thankful for the opportunity to have been able to say those words while I still have breath in my body. Thank you. Now please have a most restful night, a powerful and peace-filled day, filled with positive abundance from every direction. So much so that the only thing you can do is stop and be grateful. In all things and in all ways. I love you. And thank you for listening to me again. Good night. From me to you.